Have you ever heard the phrase, your parents did the best that they could?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
very common in our community as well. And
Right.
it's a valid phrase, and
Yeah.
it could be true. Maybe your parents did do the best they could. And
Right.
I want to get across the point again for any youth that are listening, whether or not intentional. Unfortunately, the effects of psychological and emotional invalidation or abuse or trauma don't just go away because it wasn't done on purpose. So all of these things can be true, that yes, your parents tried their best, and at the same time maybe their parenting style had certain abusive or neglectful tendencies, and at the same time it wasn't done with that intention. At the same time they love you, but at the same time their child is still mentally and emotionally affected by all that. So it's still, no matter all of these things, it's still something a person has to work through and heal, no matter what. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. And I think just to add to what you're saying, I truly believe that each individual's experience is obviously different, and trauma is personal to each individual, right? Their experience of um, um, emotional injuries that may have happened in their experiences, either in their immediate home, or within extended family, or within another scope of the environment, is a personal experience. And that's where we want to really focus on emotional psychological validation, where regardless of what the other person thinks, if that's your experience, then that's something that needs to be honored and recognized, that it's important and valuable. And in most cases, most parents do the best they can from what they know. And this conversation is certainly not to negate those very important experiences and efforts of our families, our generations, to provide or their vision to provide a better support system and provide the best for their families and generations to come. This is not to diss those experiences. It is to draw attention and awareness to what are some of the factors that one may not be aware of, and they go unnoticed, right? Because psychological, emotional trauma and it can continue, like you said, intergenerationally as well, because we are not aware of them. And the more we become aware of them, we have an opportunity to make a change and evolve, because the human brain is very resilient, and has the ability to recover and heal. So the focus is not what we need to fix. The focus is how we evolve and how we heal collectively.
Mm-hmm. It's like that phrase, children go to therapy for their parents who won't.
Mm,
It
right.
definitely ties into that intergenerational trauma. And it's also like, well, if you've never learned that something was even abusive, how are you supposed to know? Or maybe they're thinking, oh, but it happened to me, I was raised that way and I'm fine, right? But even that definition of fine, are we even looking into what exactly that means?
Absolutely. And again, we want to challenge some of those the beliefs that therapy is if you are broken, if something is wrong with you. Therapy is a process to co-create a space where you can explore and talk about your experiences and grow from them, right? And learn skills in changing the narrative, um, and working way through some of those emotional feelings of hurt, and understanding what has happened to you rather than what is wrong with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the key part. And also to debunk some of the myths and the stigma attached to that. We don't seek therapy, or sometimes parental core belief is that if my child goes to therapy, then there's something wrong with my parenting, right?
Or there's
So
something wrong with my child.
right,
Yeah.
right, yeah. So all those factors, a very complex uh, place, Varinder.
Another episode of the Speak Real podcast, sharing one-on-one conversations. We believe that storytelling is the best way to empower youth and give them the platform to find their voices.
Presented by YouthSpeak. Youth experience, youth voice, youth empowered.